Playoffs are well underway. We are into the second round now. First round is matched up, so there's only 8 teams left fighting to win the NBA championship here. So we're just going to talk about the end of the first round, give our final thoughts on the teams that got eliminated, and then look at the second round, which already started. Unfortunately, due to Adam Silver and his crazy scheduling that the NBA does. So we'll dive into that a little bit here on Falling Out. So your host Shawn and Grant. A lot of things have happened per day since we last talked, on the pod here. So we just got to talk about that. The Clippers and the Lakers are our teams, and the Pistons. We got to talk about that as well. Yeah, let's just start with the Pistons while we're at it. They fell to the Knicks in 6 games. Game 6, the Pistons had a chance. Then Azar Thompson kind of got blown off the map there by Jalen Brunson with the crossover, and that was about it. Pistons had a chance, but Beasley had Butterfingers, pulled the Gary Trent Jr., and couldn't keep the ball in, so that was a little disappointing to see how that ended. My thoughts real quick. I think once again it goes back to that game 4. If a foul would have been called on Gary or Tim Hardaway Jr., then it could be a completely different scenario series. Maybe the Pistons would be taking on the Knicks right now, or excuse me, the Celtics right now. But yeah, no, I liked what I saw from the Pistons here. In their first playoff series in a while, they were able to get a win, not at home unfortunately, so they still got that streak. But the future is bright. I'm telling you. What are your thoughts, Grant, on the Pistons Knicks series?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of just echoing what I said last podcast there. Pistons always had a chance. I mean, they were right there basically in every single game. They just simply just couldn't close out a game. Basically lackluster just offense throughout the last, say, 5 minutes of basically every single one of those games. It sucks. I understand what they were trying to do, with taking Thompson out and putting in Dennis Schroeder and kind of running some different lineups there. But at the end of the day, I know Cade had a good look at a mid-range in whatever game 5 or whatever the heck it was to possibly win it. They're just like moments like that where it just sucks because I feel like they were so close and they easily, I wouldn't say easily, but it could have very well have been, 4-2 going the other way for the Pistons. It is what it is. Obviously, it's a younger team. It's a huge turnaround from the season before. I mean, just the fact that we even made the playoffs there, considering we were the worst record in the NBA just about. So it says a lot about what this team can accomplish though. And yeah, like you were saying, the future does look bright. We're going to see what happens in the off season here for us. See if we can actually get some new talent. See what we can kind of tweak with the roster. I'm curious to see how all that turns out. See who, if anybody, we get to join the squad. At the end of the day, it's a tough one to swallow because we were so close in every single one of those games. It easily could have been, like I say, Pistons versus Celtics, not second round, but it is what it is. Like I said, it's a good learning moment for the squad. I think they'll carry a lot of that with their feeling into the next season, and I think they're going to come back just as good. I'm curious to see what the future holds.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm curious to see. This last couple of days, I guess I've been thinking about it. Yeah, I've been seeing something about getting Devin Booker, and Devin Booker should da da da. But after this playoffs, I think I'd like to see maybe Ivy what he could do. Like Jaden Ivey could potentially turn into like a Devin Booker type of player. Like you look at him, college, we're similar. Jaden Ivey was a starter, and Devin Booker, stayed 1 year in Kentucky. But just like their roles, I think can be pretty similar. In the league, because I don't think that Devin Booker is the number one option. Jaden number one option. So I don't know. I think really they need to go for a stretch 4. I think that's the key, because we can't have Tobias guarding 7-footers out there every game playoff series. They're hurt not having Isaiah Stewart. So like you said, it was a lot of things that just felt like didn't go the Pistons' way. But yeah, no, the future's bright. Asar Thompson, I'm telling you, if he gets a jump shot, he could be. Who knows? I mean, he could be like a Kawhi type. He has all the tools. It's just really he just needs a consistent jump shot. Him and his brother. So, we'll see what ends up happening this offseason. Excited to see Malik. I hope he comes back. Dennis, I'm on the fence. I'd like to see him come back, but I understand if he wants to go get it back or whatnot. But I think he definitely helped during his time. Just what he did. essentially at the end of the season there after the trade deadline. So, and then
Yeah,
while we're at it, while we're talking, go ahead.
I was gonna say just real quick too with that, like yeah, I think it sucks too with just guys being out because especially with Tobias Harris having to guard those bigger guys, they took advantage of that. And that's like at the end of the games, I think that's really where it showed the most too. And I think the big obviously like Jaden Ivey, I'd just be curious to see if he could have helped stretch the floor a little bit, just get a little bit more offense because we struggled like I was mentioning on offense a whole bunch. But really, I think it would have been the biggest is just to see B Stu come in there and I mean, plain and simple, just if he would have been able to, step up defensively, see what he could have done. Gave Mitchell Robinson some problems there. See, we can keep him off the glass too, and just kind of all of that. So yeah, kind of just again, I mean, it obviously was not the sole reason we lost. I'm not blaming injuries at all, but I think it definitely would have played a big part if we had those guys healthy.
Yeah, I agree. Just talk about the Knicks. While we're talking about that, they obviously they moved on playing the Celtics. So game one, second round of that series did happen as we're recording this. That night, I don't know if you got to watch any of it. I didn't get to watch most of it. Just watched like the fourth quarter, last 5 minutes, and then overtime. Um, they got lucky. Celtics still in five,
Choked.
6.
Celtics choked.
But yeah, I think, and another thing too is like the Celtics aren't gonna make 45 threes or whatever, every game. Like they're a high 3 pointing shooting team. I think, they're going to continue that. Jaylen Brown setting the presser, the match worked to take away the 3 point line. So, transition is here. You got to make adjustments, things like that. The Knicks were they thought they were playing the Pistons and giving the Celtics open threes, so they just couldn't make them pay. So I'm interested in that series. It's going to be a really good series. It's going to be a hard fought series, but I still think the Celtics, they're the much better team, and they'll pull that
Yep.
one out.
Yeah, no, I would agree 100%. And yeah, like, the Celtics is they're loaded with talent. They're gonna be good. So I'm very curious to see. I mean, I think it's still gonna be a good series because the Knicks are they're gritty. I mean, we know that. And playoff basketball, they for the most part let these dudes play. So I'm kind of curious to see that because if they can get enough pressure, and stop Boston from hitting all those threes, like they have a shot. They definitely have a shot, no doubt about it. But I would still kind of lean Boston in this one, just because I don't think it's going to take Brunson dropping I think 40 every night for them to really have a chance. Not that he can't do it. I mean, we saw it obviously in the biggest game of the series against the Pistons, where he dropped 40, but it's just yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to do that consistently for if it were to be 7 games. I got Boston in this one, but I got them in 6, I believe. I think it's going to be a good series. I think the Knicks get another one too somewhere in there, but yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
yeah,
very
I
curious to see that.
absolutely. That series will be good, and then the other series in the East, the Cavs and the Pacers. Game one, like that happened already too. I mean, that was a good game. I watched bits and pieces of it, more of of the second half. I mean, the Pacers, they could be a team to reckon with. I wouldn't say I like doubted them, but I guess I overlooked them during the regular season. Coming into the playoffs, I just thought that they were kind of just running high on their Eastern Conference Finals trip last year. And just had a good regular season, because they had basically their whole team coming back. But I don't know. They can give this Cavs team, and I think me and you have both said on this pod that the
Mm-hmm.
Cavs it's not going to make it far. I think the Pacers. I definitely think that they can beat the Cavs and move on to the Eastern Conference Finals here. I got Pacers.
Pacers. Yeah, we've talked about it for a little while now with these Donovan Mitchell, led teams, and just I mean, they're so good, they're so talented throughout the regular season. They always have one of the best records, if not the best. They just can't get it done in the playoffs, and I think it's going to be the same thing here. I mean, this Pacers team, like we just said, was literally just there. I mean, they know what they're doing and everything, so I'm very kind of curious to see this series. I didn't get to watch much of it. I was celebrating the holiday yesterday, living it up pretty well, as you know. But this is a series I probably will actually tune into a little bit here, just because I'm very curious to see kind of how the Cavs respond to that game one loss, especially with it being at home. Because if they lose the next one, because I believe actually I don't know if they play tonight or if it's tomorrow. I think is it
They're
tomorrow?
playing right now, recording
Oh,
this.
are they
Yeah,
play? Okay, I was just saying, I forget that one, but I know the Cavs got 3 players out. Like Evan Mobley's out, Darius Garland
Garland.
I think was out too. So it's like, dude, if you drop 2 at home like this Pacers team, like it's Pacers in 5, respectfully. Like it's
Yeah,
yeah. I probably when we get done recording this, I probably will. I'll go tune into that one, watch that one for sure. Because if Pacers get 2 at the Cavs, this series is wraps. Like it's over. It's GG's.
yeah. it's gonna be hard, for this Cavs team. They've been a good offensive team all year. They've been a good defensive team all year. But like Mobley's out, really, the defense was with Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Darius Garland was having an all-star year, was playing really well.
Yeah.
So yeah, they could choke it. And those guys do end up coming back. I don't know. I'm not gonna, beat a dead horse or nothing like that because I've already said it times. But this Cavs team, Donovan Mitchell led team, always find a way to just let themselves down, come short. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them, coming back, especially if they drop two. I could see five. I could see the Pacers going up five. Cavs, I think we'll steal one. They'll probably steal game three. But game four, Indiana, and then game could wrap it up. So
That's what I'm
that
saying.
series is very interesting. I thought it was gonna be kind of boring, but like I said, it could turn out to be a good one. The Bucks lost to the Pacers, and we talked about it a little bit. But I just want to ask you, what do you think is next for Giannis? Think he's done?
Oh yeah. I mean, you got a roster that's, I mean, frankly, it just isn't going to get the job done. I mean, Dame is coming off an injury. He's not playing next season. I mean, you got your upgrading Kyle Kuzma, or you mean your Chris Middleton to go to Kyle Kuzma. That obviously didn't work. We saw that in the playoffs. So it's like, if you're Giannis and you're putting up whatever, I mean, I don't know what he actually averaged, but like, I mean, you're putting up 30, almost 20 rebounds in whatever game, like, and you lose in five. I mean, at that point, what are we talking about, you know? So I know he's got a couple. I've rumored to be. I don't know what's actually true out there. You can't believe everything you see, but rumored to, be in kind of contact or want to go to one of those like kind of more bigger cities, mid to big city areas there. So I'd be curious to see what happens with that, but I for sure think that he's going to be on the move.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be a lot of shakeup in the East. For a lot of teams. Just try to throw them the Celtics, which we talked about last pod. The Celtics, they said they're going to change up their roster due to the new CBA thing and stuff like that. So, will it be Porzingis? Will it be Drew Holiday, David White, maybe even Jalen Brown? So it's very interesting to see what will happen. Moving on to the West, this will probably be a long and hard discussion. We'll go ahead and start with the. Actually, I'm going to start with the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. That series was very good. The Warriors, they blew it. They almost blew it. They almost blew the 3-1 lead, but game 7, Buddy Hield had a magic ball, tied for most threes in the playoff game. I think second most threes in the playoff game. We had a terrible game until the fourth quarter. Came alive. But this team, very exciting. I think Jalen Green, I think it might be time for, them to move on from him. He's just inconsistent. I don't think he's that good, of a basketball player. I can't say much in the league, but I'm not a believer of the Jalen Green and, him being one of the franchise cornerstones of that Houston Rockets. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets moved for, somebody, maybe say like a Devin Booker or something like that, or Kevin Durant package. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that series?
Yeah, I mean, real quick, just on that, I think they make a move after Giannis. I don't know if it's actually gonna happen or not, but I think that'd be interesting seeing Giannis go to Houston there. But at the end of the day, like Steven Adams is a great pickup there. I mean, just a board machine. I mean, just down there doing his thing. Fred VanVleet, he shot pretty well throughout the whole series for the most part. Like they got good pieces. Like they're not like off. I think we both kind of underestimated this Warriors team as well. I kind of give them their flowers. I think they can actually compete pretty well with a lot of the teams out there. So I'm curious. I'm definitely curious to see just kind of foreshadow into the next round where they're playing, the Timberwolves. I think that'll be just straight cinema. I think that's gonna be phenomenal. Draymond and Ant are. I mean, it's gonna be just like this one. So many technical fouls, the whole nine. It's gonna be awesome. So I'm curious to see that. But yeah, I mean, Rockets aren't far off. They got to make just some minor tweaks, I think. With which I agree. To your point, Jalen Green, he's just not that guy. And he admitted it too. I mean, he said, "Yeah, I was terrible. I was basically that was just unacceptable." So I am curious to see how he bounces back and see if he actually takes this as a learning lesson and see if he can get the job done. Either with the Rockets or if they ship him out and he kind of goes somewhere else. So.
Yeah, no, it'll be. That's the thing. I don't know. What they do. I think they go for somebody maybe a better shooter because Fred he had a great series, but isn't always the most consistent shooter. So it'll be interesting to see. You mentioned the Warriors. I think I tweeted this back when Draymond made his claim that the Warriors going to win the championship. I said that they were going to win their first round series and they're going to get booted out in the second round, which I think they are going to get booted out by Anthony Edwards. That man, first of all, wants to dethrone Steph, just like he dethroned Kevin Durant, LeBron James. He's just going down the list. And I saw clips of it today resurfaced about Ant talking about, a pre-draft workout with the Warriors and what Steve Kerr was saying and all of that. This ain't no Team USA, where he's got to be friendly and everything like that. Nah, he's gonna, make a statement. He's gonna prove a point. And, but yeah, no, I think this series, will be very good. 6-7 game series. I think the Timberwolves they'll stick it out. They win and they move on to the Western Conference Finals. Now that my team is out, or teams, I should say, I'm an Ant-Man fan. I'm looking for Ant-Man to go crazy and do something in the playoffs. So that would be fun. But yeah, and then so the other series. Well, I guess let's rewind real quick before we go to that series. We didn't talk about the Lakers. You losing to the Timberwolves. LeBron came out with his fake injury gimmick a week later, talking about, his knee, he had an MCL sprain, which I was like, okay, yeah, that's just fake, but whatnot. But yeah, what are your closing statements for the season? The Lakers, obviously, you made that trade at the trade deadline for Luka Doncic, but didn't really have a big to kind of help with that. So I guess, yeah, what are your final thoughts on the Lakers right there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep it short. I'm already say it's kind of sad, but it is what it is. I mean, Luka. I mean, I think just if the trade happened like the very beginning of the season, they had a whole season to get playing with each other. I think it's a little bit of a different story. I could see of just more chemistry, more conditioning for Luka. All this. I mean, obviously, I know he was hurt, but like it just would have been nice to have him for the full season. Because I think just doing it like the halfway point, like I get that it worked out with Jimmy and the Warriors right now, or it's looking pretty good, I should say. But I think they needed more time to gel everything there. But the biggest one, yeah, like they need to get a big man at that point. Still don't know why Jackson Hayes or anybody didn't play toward the end there. But it is what it is. I am curious to see because they're definitely gonna have to go out and get a big man. That's the biggest key there. So I think if they're able to do that, Luka can have a season, just kind of recover, get his body right. I mean, because it's going to be at some point. I mean, Brian doesn't got much left in him. I don't think. I mean, he's starting to show signs. I mean, you can't expect the 40-year-old to be the leader of everything for your team. It's just like it just can't. I mean, if it is happening, then I think I almost look at the rest of the team like, yo, what the hell is going on here? So
Yeah,
it's a short window for the Lakers in terms of with LeBron there. I don't know what the future holds for Luka. I don't really know. I mean, he's not even 100%, confirmed to be coming back to LA and everything. So I don't. We're just gonna see how that all plays out. I mean, obviously, if if Luka were to leave, man, that'd be one of the biggest fleeces in NBA history for the Mavericks. Then it'd be a full 180. Yeah, so that'd just be wild. But we'll see. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it really comes down to that big man there. And not having any interior protection or just anybody to score down there. And so that's what we saw with. I mean, freaking Rudy Gobert putting up 27 is criminal, straight up criminal.
yeah.
I don't know, it can't happen. Like that's straight up unacceptable.
The fact you just said Rudy Gobert 27 points in the same sentence is crazy.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but yeah, it happened. So,
that it
uh,
did. That it did.
yeah, no, it did. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out, to see what Luca and the Lakers their next steps, going forward. The other LA team, they also lost in quite what should I say, embarrassing fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Game six, the James Harden great game came out. It was a home game. They were able to weather the storm, and then 48 hours later, not even they got blown out. Like you did, I'll keep it brief. James Harden, like great season, great All Star season. The Clippers would not have been in the playoffs if it wasn't for James Harden, so I can't rip him too much. But like dude, I understand like you got tired legs and things like that, but you in year 16, you can't just like give up. Play like half ass out there if you're trying to win a championship. 8 field goals attempts in a game seven is criminal. Like, bro, you are an NBA professional basketball player. I'm a I'm just a 25-year-old dude. If I go to the rec right now, I'm going to put up at least 25 shots. I don't care if I go 0 for 25. I'm gonna still put it up. I'm gonna be upset at myself, but I'm gonna still put up. I'm gonna still keep going. It was just disappointing to see him. I'm not gonna rip Kawhi at all because he gave everything he could. It was just his
Crowd was good,
teammates
yeah.
couldn't pick up the slack, and it's disappointing. I should say he's not like the he's still like an A1 player, but like he's not the same Kawhi that like can shoulder the team on his back or can carry the team on his back. He's not that guy. He's coming off injury. He's only played 35 games this year. So yeah, moving forward, I have no idea what the Clippers end up doing. Russell Westbrook, just like 40% from three. Never, no, that was just a fluke. Only against the Clippers would something like that happen. Gordon already said about the dunk. Of course, that would happen. Clippers. What else? Every role player. It was great how everyone was almost hurt or broke and everything going to the series. And then all of a sudden, game four, it's like the momentum completely. Game four was, I think, the turning point of that series. And yeah, the Clippers let it get away from them. Props to the Nuggets. They played a good series. Already know that and Lawrence Frank said in the exit interview yesterday too. They're not like tank or anything like that. So Kawhi's getting back. We'll see what James Harden. He's got a player option. Will he come back? But hey, we were talking about Giannis. He wants to come to a mid-market glamorous city. Giannis, I got a plan for you. So if he goes to Clippers and plays, a year with Giannis or a year with Kawhi, that would be great. But yeah, Nuggets, props to them. Great series. They're moving on to the next to play the OKC Thunder, which game one. I don't know if you saw much of that. That was a game. Once again, Aaron Gordon had a
Oh,
magnet ball.
important.
Lucky, yeah, great shot. I'm surprised that Westbrook passed it because I saw a tweet this morning that said, that Goblin mask.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, it was calling his name. It was calling his name. Oh yeah.
But
Oh.
but yeah, I'm gonna transition to the Nuggets and Thunder series. I think based off the game one, it's actually gonna be a good series. The Thunder, just made mental errors, and I think it was just because they hadn't played in a week almost. But I think they're still gonna win this series. But what are your thoughts and takeaways from just this series, Nuggets?
Yeah. It's gonna be a good series for one. I mean, it's two of the top two. I mean, MVPs right now. In the league going against each other. So I think that right there is much must watch TV. Jeez. And so I'm curious to see again the matchup there. So I think Jokic is going to keep his team in this game, and Aaron Gordon, whatever he's been on, just keep it up, dude. Just keep doing what you've been doing. I think it'll be looked back on, one of the biggest what ifs if Aaron Gordon's, game winner against you guys didn't count. I'd be curious to see what would have happened with the series there, because I think that was definitely like the turning point there. And who knows, we might not even be talking about the Nuggets anymore. So, but with that, like I said, yeah, Aaron Gordon, just keep doing what you're doing. Michael Porter Jr.'s got to keep getting shots up. But like Jokic is just different. 40, what was it, 42, 46, 22, whatever the heck it was. I mean, dude just balled out. It was
Crazy
just,
stuff.
yeah, just ridiculous. So it's going to be a great series. It's going to be fun to watch. But yeah, I still think Thunder, but I think it's going to be, but that's the thing too, is because I think there's something to be said about, like you said, the Thunder taking like a more or less like a week off, whatever the heck it was. I don't know if it was actually officially a week or whatever, but like something to be said about that, and then just coming off a 7-game series where like I mean you're just so into the flow of it kind of thing. And so I wonder if the momentum there, like if the Nuggets can get one more at Thunder, which I don't think they do, which is why I kind of think I still see Thunder in like 6 or 7. I think it's going to be a great series. I still think it's going to go the distance, but yeah, I think the Thunder at the end of the day they're just talented. They're just good. They'll figure it out. Like you said, there was a lot of mental errors and stuff like that. And so coaching decisions too at like the end of just like stuff like this. And so I'm curious to see again where the series goes, but I think Thunder in 7.
Yeah, yeah, I got that. I would agree. I got Thunder in 6-7 right here. That we'll end up seeing what happens. Before we wrap things up, I just want to talk about the NBA awards. I will just say Pistons were robbed. They had 4 chances, not a single. I mean, the most improved. I'm glad that Cade didn't get it because he shouldn't have been awarded. But so I'll say three awards. The Coach of the Year. I don't know how you can have an historic turnaround season, tripling your win total from 14 to whatever they had, 46, 47. It's you come in second place over a team that's about to get booted out. For crazy too. The funny thing is, JB Biggerstaff set the culture for that Cavs team last year. The last 2 years goes to the Pistons, changes the culture, and Kenny gets a participation trophy. That's what I like to call it. You had a deal, JB Bickerstaff did everything. All you did was implement defense. The Cavs just
Yeah.
played a little bit better this year. Something like that. The 6 man of the year. Congrats to Peyton Pritchard, but you're
Yeah, robbery. No, seriously. I mean, yeah, we got Malik Beasley, who is arguably maybe our second best player on the team right now, and he's coming off the bench.
Yeah,
That one I was the coach one. Like, yeah, I definitely think that was some BS for sure. But I was more mad just about the 6 man of the year. I'm like, dude, Malik Beasley had arguably best season of his career.
yeah. No, he did. He did.
I
Like
mean,
best scoring, and he came off the bench. Like he's gone other places and started at Minnesota, Lakers,
yeah,
starting. Didn't
I don't.
really, but comes to Detroit and has a great season coming off the bench. So yeah,
Yeah,
I really that. But hopefully the NBA does Cade and gives them an All NBA team, which I think it should, and it better not be third. It better be first. And yeah, so that was that Executive of the Year award that was announced today. Congrats to Sam Preston, for having all those draft picks coming to fruition 5 years later. Like, dude, what Trajan did, remarkable. He brought in 3 dudes, Malik, Hardaway, Tobias, and completely changed the culture. Completely, like, everything. So I just, the NBA's got to do better about these awards and everything. Yeah, I think MVP will be announced this week. All NBA teams will be announced this week. The draft, combine, and the lottery is no, draft lottery might be later in the month, but I know the combine's that'll be interesting. Um, but yeah. Last thing before we go, do you have a prediction for a champion? Playoffs. I don't. I think the Celtics come out the East, the West. I don't know.
mm,
I don't know, but I think whoever does still wins it. Like we've said.
I mean, it's hard to pick against Boston for the East. I agree with you there. The thing with the West is all of the remaining teams I could see getting to the finals. Like, and I could
Yep.
see it. I mean, I could see both. I mean, I could see OKC versus Warriors. I could see OKC versus Timberwolves. Or I could see Nuggets versus either one of those. Like, it's. I think whoever wins the OKC Nuggets series though goes to the finals. If I had to take, if I was really picking there, I think it's between those two. But at the end of the day, like. I mean, you can never count the Warriors out, just no matter what. I mean, just the Warriors. And then, I mean, Ant-Man's on a mission, Ant-Man, Batman, Superman, don't matter. Timberwolves in 5. So, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be good. So, again, though, I would lean OKC or Nuggets, whoever comes out of that series. But at the end of the day, like, Warriors and Timberwolves are just as good. I think whoever comes out of the West, I still think this wins the NBA Finals. So, that's just my
Yeah.
2 cents.
If I had to bet on it now, I'd just take Westfield. I'd just take
Yeah, just like the
Celtics
West.
versus. I'd take the
Yeah,
West.
don't matter. West in 5.
Yeah, I think the Celtics, they win this series against the Knicks. They go on to the East Conference Finals, and either the Cavs or Pacers, they're gonna blow them out. That'll be quick, but I don't think they repeat champions again. And we've talked about this before, but yeah, Caps is a huge part of that. The Celtics team, it doesn't seem the same as last year. It's the same team, same roster. I don't think same drive. As they did. So I don't know. Could be wrong, but we'll see. Well, I might have to have a shot back on here, and that'll be a full debate right there.
Oh yeah, I need it. I need it really.
But yeah, that's basically the show for today. Looking at that second round, we'll obviously look middle of the rounds, come back and give our analysis and things like that. But for now, that's all we got. Until next time, catch you then.